Hey, you guys, happy Friday. Hope you guys should almost be done with your work day. It's 11:45 here in Hawaii, but most of you guys should almost already be done with your work. So I won't make this too intense, but I promise I would jump on this week and talk to you guys about quarterly planning. I know some of you guys talked about doing quarterly planning. You guys definitely incorporated it in your business. Some of you guys have no idea what I was talking about. Some of you guys really want to incorporate it into your business, but just really don't know how. So I'm going to break this down in 2 steps because A, it's Friday, and I don't want you to work too hard because Fridays over here tend to be like Friday light days. I try to keep things pretty fun and creative. I don't like to get too intense with anything, but all week long I've been working on my 4th quarter planning, and I want to share with you guys all of the behind the scenes on it. And then really weird sound, I hope that's not a warning of some sorts, if you guys can hear that. And then Monday, probably Monday or Tuesday, I will share with you guys all of my info for my quarterly planning and what it looks like, and I'll break it down so you guys can see a really good example of it. But quarterly planning, so I do quarterly planning 4 times a year. Each quarter I break it down. I try to do it early on. So I'm gonna give you guys the backstory a little bit on quarterly planning, why I use it, why I utilize it, why I think it's so important in our business. And to start with, you know, that whole saying from Benjamin Franklin, when we fail to plan, we're planning to fail. You guys all know I'm super big on planning. I'm super big on scheduling, primarily because A, it's been ingrained in me. I've been doing scheduling and planning for 15 years, and it is the only way I've stayed on top of both of my businesses. Before coaching was even a thing, planning and scheduling was how I was able to pull off a shoot, schedule a whole month's worth of shoots that incorporated myself and 1,000 other moving parts, whether it was talent, cast, you know, the creative team, crew members. So I'm really big on scheduling. Plus, anytime I've ever done a project, specifically in television, there's always been a deadline, right? We have to deliver it to the network at a certain time. And so the reason why I'm really big on planning is because that's what keeps me motivated, and it keeps me, hey, there you go, hey, Adwa. It keeps me motivated, and it keeps me on task. So I get comments here and there, and I don't say this to brag in any sort of way, but, you know, how can you pull off, you just had a baby and you're launching this thing, or you're working on a television show and you're doing this thing over here? It's only because I schedule and I plan, and I really don't deviate from it. Later on, I would love to hear what you guys are. I think we talked about the 4 agreements in one of my business masterminds, and I end up being, is it the 4 agreements? 4 agreements. It's one of the like personality tests. And I end up being an upholder, which really means that I hold myself accountable, and I don't need an exterior force or an exterior person to keep me on track. And that really works for me. Granted, it doesn't work for everybody. But if you have a schedule of what you're going to do, you already know every day what you're going to look at, what you're going to start with. So you don't start fumbling and think, maybe I'll do this, maybe I should do this, maybe I've got this. When we have a ton of things to do, that's what ends up happening. So definitely when we're not planning, we're really just planning to fail. And the other thing is, goals are great. I'm a big fan of goals, but they're just ideas unless you have a plan to go along with it. Unless you have a plan, then you're going to put it into action. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen that triangle. It's like idea, plan, action. You have the idea, great. You figure out the plan, and then you start taking action. You can't complete the triangle unless you do all 3 of those little lines. And so now, why are we planning 4th quarter now? It's only, God, I wish I could tell you the date. Kind of on island time. Okay, it's the 14th of September. You know, the 4th quarter doesn't start for a few weeks, so why are we working on it now? I'm a big believer in the minute the 4th quarter hits, I already want to know exactly what I'm doing, because I don't want to waste any time. And the 4th quarter is also, hey Jeremy, the 4th quarter is also your most difficult quarter because it's when all the holidays come in. So we have, that's going, sorry, I don't know what it is. I hope it's not like I know it's not we're done with the hurricanes, and that's pretty much all we have here, I hope. But tell me if it's super annoying, you guys can't hear me. But so the 4th quarter is full of all holidays. We have Halloween coming up, then you have Thanksgiving, then you have the Christmas or Hanukkah towards the end of the year. So I know a lot of people take off. We generally, in the entertainment industry, we get a 2-week hiatus. So 2 weeks are already gone. I'm taking off early this year, and I'll explain more about that next week. So my end date is mid-November of when I'm going to really stop working for the rest of the year. And the problem with that is if I didn't plan all of this, and if I didn't start planning now, I'd be trucking along and then, oh crap, I haven't A, hit my goals, B, hit whatever my goals are, my financial numbers, which is I do a lot of financial goal planning. So I want to hit a certain amount of numbers in terms of income. And that's how I plan and schedule out the year. That's how I know how many production jobs I can take. That's how I know how many clients I want to try to take. And sometimes, schedule dictates differently, but I'll show you guys all my quarterly planning next week. But this week, I just want you guys to start thinking about your quarterly planning. And so when it comes to the fourth quarter, why we're starting now, because we want to be ready to go the minute the fourth quarter hits, right? And so what do we plan for? So a lot of times people are like, I know I should be planning quarterly, but what the heck am I going to plan for? And what am I going to work towards? Well, some things that people gauge and work towards is building up their social media. So maybe they're trying to build up their Instagram, their Facebook, their Pinterest followers. And granted, it's not, and I hope you're not doing it just for the numbers because it's not worth it. Thanks for the thumbs up. You're doing it because you're looking to get clients. You're looking to get your project, your book, Jeremy. You're looking to get your blog, Adua, out there. So you're doing it for a specific reason. So sometimes we really are doing quarterly planning and we're looking to add our social media in. Maybe we're trying to build our email list. Maybe we're trying to create an email list. We're trying to add clients. Maybe we're trying to build up content. So one of the things that we're really planning for in the fourth quarter is creating a ton of content. For me, that's going to be one of them because I'm taking off. I don't want to take off entirely. I'm still going to be pushing content out there while I'm not working in December, but I want to make sure that I've created the content already. So it's one of the things I want to plan for in this fourth quarter. And then, like I said, financials. That's a big one. A lot of people plan for the financials. That also goes into come mid-December, we'll do, the yearly planning in addition to fourth quarter planning, but that's where really I hit the financials hard of how much I want to make in each quarter. But so generally, I don't pick more than 3 of these, and I don't recommend you pick more than 3 of these either as you're planning for this fourth quarter, because like I said, fourth quarter is the most busiest, and in your personal life, I should say. I don't know about your business, and also it gets difficult when you're tracking 5, 10 different things. So 3 seems to be the sweet spot that I've seen. And so some of the factors that go into as you're planning for the fourth quarter are, what are your goals going to be? What do you want the end of the year to roll out as? Are you going out with a bang? Are you going to work your tail off to the end of the year? Are you like, okay, this is my family time. I'm going to spend the most time with my family as I can during these holidays. So I really want to make sure I incorporate a lot of family time in there. The other thing is being aware of what's already on your plate. That's a tough one. I know a lot of creatives sort of forget about it because, if you give me 4 hours to be creative and do something fun or 40 hours, I'm probably going to use all of it, right? So you want to be aware of what's already on your plate. And I'll explain on next week, what's going on my plate, and that's how I know how much time I have. In fact, I backed up how many clients I can take and what the last day to sign up with me is for the fourth quarter, because I already have an end date. And for you guys, it might be the end of the year. It might be 2 weeks before the holidays hit, whatever that is. So you just want to be aware of what's already on your plate as you're putting together this fourth quarter planning. And then steps that you need to complete that. So you have your vision, you have your goal, you have your goals, some of the things that you're going to be tracking in the fourth quarter. And then you want to figure out okay, well, how do I do that? And what are all the steps that go into it? If you've taken the Hello Just Follow Through Masterclass with me, I think the last one I did was on September 1st. We did exactly that. We broke down your goals into bite-sized steps. And so you would know exactly what you have to work on each month, each week, each day. So you want to know what your goals are. And then lastly, it's execution, actually doing the work, making sure that you're hitting all of your deadlines that you've given yourself for this quarterly goal and quarterly planning, and then tracking it. That's the biggest part. And I think that's the part that scares people, and a lot of people that don't do it is tracking it. So I have I think I posted in one of the other comments how I do it. I actually do it. I'm a super visual person, but I love technology. But if there is a barrier for me to utilize technology when I'm crazy busy or when I'm traveling, like right now, sometimes I won't use certain tools that I generally like to use. I had posted a little whiteboard. It's a tiny little whiteboard. It's mint in one of the other photos or one of the other comments. And I travel with that, crazy enough, It's like the size of my passion planner, kind of. But I travel with that, and I keep my quarterly planning on that. And I shit you not, I keep it in the bathroom by the mirror, so I see it every single morning. At home, it's on a huge chalkboard. It also stays in my bathroom. I guess I spend a lot of time in there. Every morning when I get ready in the morning, I want to be able to see that, so I know what is the focus today, what is the focus this month, what is the focus this quarter. And so I keep those usually inside, visibly, somewhere that I could see it easily. I would say that do it on your laptop. If you're somebody that's going to go to an app, if you're going to go to a Google Sheet and put it there, that's great. Like I said, if there's a barrier for me to have to go to something to look at it, I'm going to forget. I always do. I don't know why, I just do. So I have to have it already posted. And then all the details of how I'm going to get to these things that I want. So if I'm tracking my social media, all those details, that I put in a spreadsheet, that I put in my passion planner, that I put in something else so I can know exactly all of the steps that are going to take to get me to these main goals. So on next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys, like, maybe I'll do it on the whiteboard, and that way you can see it. And then I'll give you guys, trying to think, maybe I'll just show you guys in either a Google Sheet or on my planner of exactly how I break it down and what I'm going to do. But for now, what I want you guys to focus on is, what do you want this last quarter of the year to end up looking like? Is it going to be a focus on getting clients? Is it, Adwa, is it going to be a focus on getting more guest postings on other blogs, or getting people to your website? Jeremy, are you hitting a number of pages or chapters that you want to finish? So you want to figure out 3 areas that you really want to focus on during this fourth quarter. And if you're somebody like me who's going to end the year early, maybe you want to pare it down a little bit. I'm still in the I'm almost there, but 2 of the things that I'm really focused on during this fourth quarter are certain clients. So a smaller number of clients that I can take. And the other one is content, creating content. So when I do take the rest of the year off, I have the content already created. So those are the 2 things that I'm focusing on. I may add 1 more. I also do realize we're coming up on fourth quarter, and I'm in Hawaii, and I'm sort of on vacation. So I want to be able to make sure that I'm spending time with my family here and not crazy working like a maniac. So those are the things that I'm going to be thinking about over the weekend. So this weekend, if you could think about, what are your big plans for the fourth quarter? What's your vision? What do you want to knock out, and what do you want to track? Once you figure out what your goals are and what your big vision is for this fourth quarter, that will lead you to the things that you want to track to make sure you're on point to hitting those. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. I will jump in probably Monday, Tuesday, and show you guys what I did in terms of my fourth quarter. But if you guys have any questions on if you're struggling with coming up with any goals or how you're going to plan it out, it might help after you see the way that I do it next week. But jump in, feel free to put it in the comments below, and I'll answer best I can if I know what you guys are working on. And I think it'll be helpful for you guys to get started thinking about it now, and then we'll jump into actually implementing it and creating it next week. All right, you guys, I hope you guys are done for the day. I am going to head out shortly here because it's actually nice out. We've had rain for the past 3 days. We had a tiny little tropical storm came through, nothing like the East Coast, unfortunately, is getting pummeled with right now. But we've been we're getting a little stir crazy being in the house, so we're trying to get out. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and then I'll be live Monday or Tuesday, and I'll show you guys my behind the scenes on planning for the fourth quarter. All right.